She would use washcloths to wipe. She would set them on the corner of the sink, and then she would throw them away. Our roommates started to notice that their late mother's washcloths were disappearing, and they confronted her about it, and she wanted me to lie to them for her, but I didn't. She ended up buying more washcloths for herself, and instead of throwing them away, she had me wash them in the sink and then put them in the washer.
You're obsessed with Karina Kaboom.
What's wrong with Karina Kaboom? She's a nice lady.
You're kidding, right?
What are you doing out here?
Hello everybody. In today's video, for the low introductory price sale of absolutely nothing, you heard it here last, we are taking a look at two separate things. The messages that Beck's mom sent about Amberlynn, which I think are very important, the DMs, because we didn't get to it in my last video before Amber's live stream. And Beck has responded to Amberlynn's members only live stream where Amberlynn completely bashed Beck's partner, who Amber doesn't know, has never spoken to, has no idea who they are. Also, Amberlynn has come out on her Instagram with very outrageous statements against Beck. And the positive thing about that, there's only one positive thing, is now we know that Amberlynn doesn't have anything on Beck like she claimed she does, except old drama that has been addressed partly and just information that the majority of the community already knows. So Amber, what you have done is absolutely dreadful to your friends and roommates, and you're caught. And so now you get no Kermits. All right, speaking of Kermits, you see this Kermit? My Kermits are always in the middle of drama and gossip. Would you like to buy a Kermit? Well, now you can in my game show host voice. This is my affiliate link to purchase a Kermit if you wish. I know the Kermits that live with me, very interested in the drama and gossip. Okay, we're going to get into it. Everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Nothing is meant to be taken seriously. I am sharing my own opinions, not facts, on publicly accessible information first made public by public figures. Please do not go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. Entertainment purposes only. Beck's channel will be linked down below. Okay, so these messages are between Beck's mom, Norma, and Beck's sister. So Beck's mom says, Beck FaceTimed with me, and guess what? They're not staying the night with me. I'm just so upset, and it breaks my heart that they are a slave to Amberlynn. Lets her control them. Tear streaming. Why does Beck let Amberlynn own them? They're choosing Amberlynn over their own mommy. Oh, God, that's so, awful to, read. And I'm sure it was really, really difficult for Beck to, read that, know that, put that. I think it's very brave of Beck to put that in their video. I'm just broken. I miss Beck and want to spend time with them. Beck is brainwashed. I'm going to need them when we start packing. It's where you were saying Amber had changed and feels like, okay, I myself don't think Amber has changed. She is putting on a show, trying to make her look good, innocence to her audience. I believe with all my heart Amber mentally blank Beck, and I don't like that. So yeah, of course Beck's mom was correct, and of course Amberlynn did that. Okay, so Beck's sister says, well, I don't know what to do. Amberlynn has been good to me recently, and she has changed in front of me. That's what I'm trying to tell everyone. The Amberlynn they know is on YouTube. That's a different persona, a personality. Amberlynn Reed is definitely not the person that she presents herself to be on camera. If you want to know the real her, you can actually take a look at some of her live streams. However, I don't know if anybody has noticed this, but recently Amberlynn has been mimicking how people act in general and adapting to live streams. We could talk about that later. Don't think I didn't notice, Pookie. That's a different personality. We were getting along. I didn't mean to make it all like I was saying she was lying. Good grief, I can't win. Y'all just do whatever, but it's always over Amberlynn. So this is a statement being made that there's always drama over Amberlynn Reed when Beck was dating Amber. That is not the norm. That is not okay, and it's a sign of bad things to come, And Then she says, I can't handle this drama anymore to Beck's mom. I'm about to stress myself. No joke. I didn't mean it the way she took it. And this is the really important part. This is Beck's mom saying this, and you have to understand that a mother always knows, okay? And Beck's mom says, I don't know. Time always tells all. Something isn't right. I feel it in my heart. Beck is in bad shape, and this was before all this happened. I worry so much about Beck. Then go talk to her, put her in a rehab or mental resort. I just don't know. So I think that Beck's mom 100% knew that there was something sinister going on in the house with Amber and Beck. A mom always knows. Moms have like this, connection to their children where they always know what's going on. So, my opinion on these text messages is that it is wild to me that Amber Lynn would force Beck to stay every single night with her when Beck's mom was ill and was passing on, and that Beck couldn't even and wasn't even allowed to stay with their mom. Now, I know people are going to definitely say this in the comments because they always do. Like, Beck was their own person. Why didn't Beck just go and, stay with their mom? I really don't know because I'm not Beck and I wasn't there. But people need to truly think about what was going on in that household. Amber Lynn was the one that was financially supporting, manipulating, and controlling Beck. So I think a lot of the situations were, in my opinion, either you do what I tell you, which is you stay the night with me, or, you need to find another home. Like, realistically, Amber Lynn supported Beck. And I think financially, I think that from day one, Amber's plan was to isolate Beck from their family and to be in control. And finances, Amber already admitted to obviously paying for love and buying love. Finances, and when somebody supports you fully and you have nowhere to go if you don't follow their rules, like being in control of finances, you have a lot of power. That's why Amber demanded that was told, oh, like, I'm gonna let you and you're gonna have so much more time to spend with your family. Amber Lynn knew what she was doing from the beginning. And it's sad that, Beck didn't get to spend a lot of time with their mom. It's sad that Beck's mom knew the truth about Amber. And the thing is, at the end of the day, Amber, going forward in your life, it'll always be on you. And you'll always have that in the back of your head that you stopped Beck from spending time with their parent that's no longer here. And Beck was a genuine, great, fantastic friend of yours. They washed all your stuff, they got all your food, they drove you around, they did everything for you, they wiped you for a long time, and you stopped them from seeing their parent that passed away. You knew their mom was sick and you still demanded that they stay with you. It's just wild. Like, you need to be an independent person, you need to be an adult, and you need to stop honestly ruining other people's lives. One more point. Anne Boleyn, after she was exposed with those voice notes that I played for you earlier, right? Amber Lynn had gone on her channel and said that Beck's mom and Amber had made up and everything was great. Obviously, Beck's mom knew exactly who you were. Nothing was great, and now you've been exposed. See, here's the thing. Amber will lie about absolutely everything. Uh, on my last video, one of my last videos, somebody had said that they don't understand. Amber clearly knew that Beck had a lot of information on her. Why did she continue to taunt Beck? And here's my answer. Right, like, why would you ever try to taunt and bother somebody who has all this tea and gossip and bad information on you? Because Amber Lynn, in my opinion, believes that she is the smartest person in the room and believes that she knows what she's doing at all times is correct. And nobody is going to come after her to expose her. That's what I mean. And the reality is that, honestly, Amber, believing that you're smarter than your audience and your ex-partners has done what for you?
Amber, I just wanted you to finally take some accountability. If I really wanted to humiliate and embarrass you, I would have just done this years ago. The only way to hold you accountable is publicly, bringing awareness to the abuse and having your audience see between the cracks. Your public live stream wasn't about an apology or healing. It wasn't about breaking your silence. It was about silencing others, especially me. You did not take this seriously. It is inappropriate to laugh when you are talking about other people's trauma, especially when you're the one who caused it. I can laugh about my trauma with friends, but making fun of what your victims have experienced is insensitive and weird. You are trying to convince everyone that I did just as much to you as you've done to me. I do feel these other girlfriends in the past too. Name the worst thing I did to you. Tell me what it is so I can take accountability for it if it was so bad. Because all you've said about me is that I'm a liar and use you for money.
Okay, so what Amber Lynn did in her live stream responding to Beck, that public live stream, is just say that Beck is a liar and bash Beck supposedly with whatever fake receipts for a really long time. Also, Amber does this, and I've discussed this many times. She continues to manipulate language, just like when she said she doesn't have two phones, when we all saw that she had two phones. Oh, my phone is in storage. You mean it's in your apartment complex? You see how she leaves out that point that the phone, the second phone that she has, is in the apartment complex? So you mean it's in your building? Also, Amberlynn, I have gone through, obviously, like, ever since the first phone was released or whatever, like, I've gone through a few phones like everybody else has. I do not have all the text messages on them. You saved all those text messages because you knew what Beck had on you, and you knew this time would come because you kept bashing them and bashing them. How are you, Amberlynn, taking accountability in your video, in your live stream, when you're just bashing Beck? That's a good point that Beck makes. What is the worst thing that Beck has ever done to you? Because you literally mistreated your roommates, and I don't care what they did. I'm just saying at this point, taking their late mother's washcloths to use in the lavatory, then lying to them about it, basically stopping Beck from spending time with their late mom. Like, why do you think that your money makes you any better than anybody else? Like, it's just outrageous. That live stream was not to take accountability. It was to bash Beck.
Just because you feel attacked by my perspective doesn't make it a lie. And I wouldn't have dealt with so much if I was only with you for the money. And still to this day, you have the audacity to say that the worst thing you put me through was forcing me to spend time with you? It is laughable if it wasn't so sad. The funny part is you are kind of right. Forcing me to spend all my time with you kept me from my mom while she was dying. These were the darkest moments of my life. I look back on them now and wish I could self-awake from a nightmare. I don't know why I let her control me so much. I wish I would have just run away and told her no. I have so many regrets from that time, but she knew what she was doing. She knew she was manipulating me into isolating myself from my own family, begging me to spend time with her instead of my mom, causing rifts between us in the very little time I had left with her. I hate that because of Amber and her hold on me, I wasn't there for my mom the way I wanted to be. I hate that I don't remember our last Christmas together. I hate that she cried for me when she was losing so much. Completely unrecognizable. It could take years for you to find yourself again and to make sense of what was even happening. To those of you who haven't experienced something like this before, I hope that you can see this as a tale of caution. And if you have experienced something like this similarly, then I hope this helps you feel less alone. I hope that my mom is out there watching and seeing the changes I've made and is feeling peace knowing that I am safe, happy, and loved. I hope that she is proud of me for sticking up for myself and for speaking out against Amber.
This is just my opinion. I feel like Beck has really touched on why they did a lot of the things that they did. When you are in a relationship in which you are being mistreated, and that's a really nice word for it, what can sometimes happen is that you do things that you later on are like, like you don't know why you did them because they were in a horrible situation. And I think it's very easy to judge a person when they were in a terrible situation, because I see those comments in my comment section. People are like, well, Beck didn't have to do this, Beck didn't have to do that. At the end of the day, I think that Beck really wishes that certain things didn't happen, but ultimately my opinion is Amber Lynn really mistreated them, and it's deeper than that, obviously. And I have no doubt that Beck's mom sees how well Beck has done for themselves, that Beck is in a healthy and happier relationship and has made it away from Amber. And I have no doubt that your mom is incredibly, incredibly proud of you, Beck. And again, I will link Beck's video down below. Please go and check it out. Okay, so Beck posted on their community page post responding to Anne Boleyn, bashing their partner. Just for those of you that may not be fully aware of what's going on, there has been a back and forth between Beck and Amber Lynn. It was caused by Amber Lynn not leaving Beck alone. After Beck asked Amber for years to leave them alone, Amber Lynn continued to bash them, even blaming them for her cancer. So recently, Beck has been telling their story to try to not just heal, but like tell other people that it's okay to get away from a bad relationship. After Beck's admission that Amberlyn took her roommate's washcloths to use in the lavatory and threw them out, which is destruction of other people's property, and it's absolutely inappropriate and it's absolutely wild that you did that and actually forced bed bugs onto your future roommates, begged Beck not to tell your roommates that you were coming from a house with bed bugs. You like really don't care about others. You only care about yourself, and your actions aren't just cruel, but they're deliberate. You deliberately cause havoc in other people's lives. Okay, so here's the post. Amber Lynn came on her live stream last night and said some disgusting things about my current partner, who is not a public figure and who she has never met and does not know. Nothing she said had anything to do with the things I've called her out for in my videos. She thinks she can drive a wedge between myself and my loved ones, even my own family, but it won't work. I won't make a video about this because it was nothing but a woman spiraling and blindly throwing punches in every direction. I just have to say, I respect Beck's opinion. They can do whatever they want. You know what I would do in this situation? Just me, just my opinion. If Amber Lynn wants to make money bashing your ex, I would make money lifting them up. I would make as much money here as possible because Amber Lynn not only stole Beck's money from the live streams that she did in 2021 during the live stream era and did not pay Beck, but she also stole Beck's inheritance. So my personal opinion is I would respond, but I totally respect Beck's opinion not to. Amber Lynn, whoever told you these things is no friend of mine, clearly, even if they used to be. The only person's opinion of my partner that matters is mine, and she has never controlled, forced, or even asked me to do anything that I have or have not done for my relationship, my life, and my personal healing and growth. If you don't know what this is about, Amber Lynn went around saying that she got a message from a friend, like either a mutual friend or a friend of hers, who supposedly bumped into somebody who said all these terrible things about Beck's partner, which are not true. Amber just made it up. Amber's her own friend, possibly. Although I do have a suspicion who the friends could be. She supports me coming out about my experience because she is a supportive partner. I don't have to tell you that it's wrong to publicly make statements about someone who is not a public figure and has nothing to do with what I've come out and said about you. The thing is that you do have to tell Amber these things because Amber has defamed so many people who are public figures and not, that she doesn't care. The only way, in my opinion, that Amber will learn, can I call you Pookie? That Amber will learn is if somebody takes legal action against her and pursues it and gets her to the point where she no longer has the funds to fund her ridiculous, whatever. What are you getting now, Pookie? Perfumes, yeah, that'll help. I hope you take enough steps back to see that I never had to say any of what I have said in my videos. If you want me to stop speaking on you, if you want your audience to form better opinions of you, this is never going to happen, Beck. There are easy solutions. So the thing is, what Beck is trying to say is this didn't have to happen, which is what I've been saying for a while. Amber trashed Beck for years on Instagram in her videos, but mainly on Instagram and other people's live streams, and thought, it's so wild to me. Like, people keep saying to me, like, why did Amber, knowing that Beck had this on her, continue to trash Beck because Amber thinks that she is smarter than everybody else. And she thought this wouldn't happen, which is very weird to me, you know? You stole a person's money and you bashed them for 4 years after they asked you, stop. So, that's why this is happening. That's why Beck is saying, I never had to say these things. Also, just wanted to be very clear here. Beck never told me this information that they went ahead and shared with y'all because they probably didn't see a reason to back then. And they have not shared this information in such a long time, even when they did speak out. So Amber has created this situation by nonstop bashing Beck. And when Amber came and did her public live stream and it was just showing receipts of just things that we already knew, not proving anything and bashing Beck, this is probably what caused this finally now. What I'm trying to say is, if Beck wanted to reveal how you stole your roommate's late mother's washcloths to use in the lavatory and threw them away, I just feel like they would have said this years ago. They didn't want to say this, and you drove them to this. Taking accountability without simultaneously talking negatively about the people you are apologizing to is not hard. Instead, you once again threaten me in an attempt to get me to stop talking. What you did last night and in your public live stream was vile, and the things I said in my video were only a response to that. The more you try to pick fights and hurt me instead of actually listening, actually apologizing, actually working to correct things, the deeper you dig yourself into the hole you're spiraling right into. Okay. I agree with this. And what Amber did in response is really, really telling of the type of person that she is and that she doesn't have anything on Beck. So that's good to know. Here it is. Okay, so people have been drawing diagrams of things that happened in the lavatory. I had to take that out, whatever. But this is Amber's response to Beck. It's typical Amby. Beck, you caused this, and for that, I'll never stay silent again. It's okay, Pookie. You were never silent to begin with. You have over 200,000 followers. You constantly, routinely bashed Beck for years on Instagram. I have all the videos. I'm going to compile a playlist of Amberlyn bashing Beck over and over and over again. And this is obviously from Amber's Instagram. Okay, I'm not afraid of you anymore. Aw, what you're doing isn't healing or taking the high ground. It's immaturity and shows that you haven't changed at all. Remember making fun of your ex by posting their dirty on social media, or when your 18-year-old stepsister at their workplace because you wanted to date her even though you were almost 30 plus. You haven't changed at all. You've just gotten better at manipulating. Again, good job. You're, quote, a good actor. Remember? Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say is
Amber Lynn did not shower.
The second thing I want to say is obviously Amber Lynn is referencing, a good actor, because I believe this was said before. Who cares? Amber is not understanding what's going on. So, Pookie, Amber, let me tell you something about what's going on. You tormented and mistreated Beck in a relationship. They were not perfect, but they did everything for you. My question is, do you not see how when they are talking about their story and the mistreatment that they faced, you were just giving out like negative things about them, so it becomes like a Kermit for Kermit, like, oh, this person did this thing, this person did this other thing, this person did that, and this person did that. My biggest question to Amber Lynn is, why did you stay with Beck if they were so terrible? Right, to torment and to control. Amber, what you're saying, it has nothing at all whatsoever to do with what you were accused of. You're just naming off things that you think will, inflame, or just like people will be like, oh my God, like, wow, she said that about Beck things. Instead of answering, I want you to answer right now why you stole your roommate's late mom's washcloths and used them in the lavatory. Beck explaining how you mistreated them and the routine torment that they were dealing with while being in a relationship with you is not an example of immaturity. An example of immaturity is coming on the internet, for example, and creating fake names for everyone you date because nobody wants to be associated with you. But okay. So this is all that Amber Lynn has on Beck. What do I mean by that? From my remembrance, I'm reminded of a sonnet by Amber Lynn, Hans Christian Shakespeare. Okay. I believe the first thing, the Facebook picture thing, I think I remember seeing it. Okay. And I believe in a much older live stream, Beck possibly addressed it. It's just been so long. There are certain things that I vaguely remember. I think I vaguely remember that. But this has been talked about in the community for a long time. And I believe Beck like explained it. I just don't have that live stream. It's on Ember's channel, probably private or whatever, or wherever it is. I just don't remember. But this has been talked about a lot. And I believe Beck did address it and take responsibility. I believe. The thing about the stepsister, I can't comment on because I don't know. I just don't know. I've heard the second one too a lot for years, but there's never been clarification that I've seen, so I don't know. For now, the second one is just an allegation. If Beck wants to, they can address it. So here's the thing. Amber Lynn has said in her live stream that she has all this information on Beck. It seems that this is all she has. She doesn't have anything else that most of the community doesn't know about. Most people know about this also. Why would you be afraid of Beck? If you were afraid of them, what do you mean? You financially controlled them. You tormented them and you were afraid always. The person who mistreats the other person very often likes to turn the roles around and say, no, you did all these things to me. Thank you, everyone, for the sweet and kind messages. The support during this time means the world to me. Beck sharing their story of how I was controlling in nature is one thing. As I took full accountability and apologized privately multiple years ago and also now publicly. But sharing personal information during extremely vulnerable times that I'm ashamed of thousands of people who belittle me a single day just to paint me in a certain light is sick beyond words. First of all, I don't see how anyone is painting you in a certain light. You stole your roommate's late mom's washcloths, used them in the lavatory and threw them out. But when you needed to replace them, the ones that you bought, oh, you didn't want to throw the things that you bought out. You needed to have somebody else wash them. This is not painting you in a certain light. This is who you are. Also, my opinion, for what it's worth, I'm 100 on this. She is not ashamed of this. If she was, she wouldn't repeat it. Think about what I just said. She's not ashamed of this situation. How do you think she takes care of things now? Okay. If you want help, you even now can hire a caretaker to help you. The reason that she refuses is because, again, she wants to pretend that she doesn't need the help. There's no shame in needing help, but there's definitely shame in destroying and doing these things to other people's property. No one's painting you in any light. This is who you are, and you are not ashamed. You're not ashamed. Hey, why didn't you tell us that you did this? Hey, second question. Why did you continue? And this is a real question. Why did you continue to bash Beck knowing that they knew this information about you? Didn't you think this was going to come out? Vulnerable time, Mike Kermit. You did this to other people. I don't understand how they lived with you. I know I couldn't. No one is painting you in any light. You did do these things and you were not in a vulnerable situation because you're still in this situation. So it wasn't like a special time in your life. This is your life. I'm going to make this very clear. I know most of you know, but just in case you're new to my channel, I don't judge her for needing help in the lavatory or getting herself into bad situations, mainly because I don't care. And also because I understand that this happens to people. Sometimes really bad things happen to people. I get it. I'm not judging her for needing help. I'm judging her for destroying others' personal belongings, for lying to them about it, for putting people in terrible, unspeakable situations that they did not need to be a part of. This woman, Amber Lynn Reed, was making $200,000 a year at that time. She not only could have used various tools in the lavatory, but deeper than that, she could have hired a caretaker to come over all day long and help her with her hygiene. Instead, you stole your roommate's late mother's washcloths and forced Beck to do unspeakable things, which is why you couldn't really have a regular relationship with them. My point here is this. You're probably wondering, why didn't she hire a caretaker? You're probably wondering, why didn't she get a tool? It's honestly because she wants to pretend that everything is okay and nothing is out of the ordinary. Amber, you need to stop doing that. You need to stop pretending that. Your situation is not a vulnerable situation one time in your life. And by the way, I wouldn't call this vulnerable. This, using the word vulnerable, right, is her trying to get sympathy. I don't feel any sympathy towards this person. Not only has this person caused their own problems, but it's deeper than that. You need help in the lavatory. I don't judge you for it. I understand. Why didn't you seek help with your $200,000 a year instead of spending them on choosy stickers and shopping sprees when you could have just hired a caretaker? It's not that she needed the help in the lavatory. Lack of, just lack of decency towards other human beings that you lived with. Beck has reached a low that they promised they wouldn't reach, but the minute I stuck up for myself against the lies, there has been no lies from Beck, but only from you. You show screenshots that don't prove anything. I might be unhinged, and admittedly so, but they're manipulating their unhinged behavior behind a mask. I don't see what you mean by that. Like, what do you mean that Beck is manipulating their unhinged behavior behind a mask? What is this unhinged behavior? So far, the only thing that you have on them is things that, one of the things that they admitted to and explained why, I just don't remember the explanation because it was years ago, about the pictures on Facebook. It's somewhere on the internet. I'm sure somebody could find it. You don't even have, so this person made mistakes and did certain things twice in their life that you know of. What you did doesn't, see, here's the thing. This is this is the narcissistic response. I may have done this, but I didn't really do this. But what did you did? Let's turn it around on you. Gaslighting, questioning your sanity. What did you do? You haven't provided not one proof, not one piece of proof that Beck is manipulating unhinged behavior behind a mask. I fell for the manipulation before, but I'm not going to do it again. I don't see how you would fall for any manipulation when you are the one that did the manipulating. Beck and you met. You were living in a house with bed bugs. You didn't even want to do anything about them. When Beck started dating you, they graciously helped you quarantine your house. You then demanded to be in a relationship with them. They were not interested in a relationship with you. You lied and said you had tons of women wanting you, which is clearly a lie, because if you did have, and here's why it's a lie, this is only one reason. If Amber had a whole bunch of women wanting her, then common sense, then she would have been with them and not with Beck. And you pushed your way into a house, not like hiding from your other roommates that you come from a bed bug situation. You lied on the internet saying that only Beck would get bit, trying to trash them as if, listen, you don't even know, Amberlynn. You can't even do a basic Google search that bed bugs bite everybody. It's just that some people are not as sensitive to the bites and not allergic. When you get those bed bugs, bites on you, just Google it. It's because of the allergy that a person would have to it, or their skin is more sensitive. But anyways, so you pushed your way into a relationship. You then tormented and held money over this person's head and forced them to do all these terrible things. At the end of the day, Amberlynn, you are not a victim. You have them. All right, that's about it for today's video. I want to thank you all so very much for watching. Thoughts, comments, dislikes, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here. Check out this other video that's popping up here on a similar topic. Go subscribe to Beck's channel, and I will see you very soon on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.